All right, and I recording has started. So, welcome everyone. My name is Garrett. If you haven't interacted with me before, I'm one of the members of the data team here. And as I said, we're kind of going to go over how to use PowerTeacher Pro from the teacher perspective. So I have a PowerPoint here for you that we're going to kind of go off of. And I also am signed in from the teacher portal on one of MacroConnect's accounts, but I assign myself as a co-teacher, so you would see exactly what the teacher would see. So for the agenda for today, there's kind of six categories here. The last one might not be as relevant since a lot of the things set for like grade scales and categories are typically set at the district level for UPrep. So that just might be a quick overview, but we're going to go through the icons and the dashboard here, how to take attendance, submitting log entries, grading and assignments, which goes anything from creating and editing assignments to entering grades, and then entering comments, and then class customization. So for icons in the dashboard overview, so the first thing is just like when you sign in as an admin, you sign into the teacher portal using this URL here. And so as I mentioned, I'm signed in as the Macro Connect account using that teacher sign in. So what I'm going to do here is accessing the PowerTeacher Pro gradebook and how to get to it. So when you log in to the teacher portal here, this will be the home page that you get to. So I assign myself as co-teacher for this one class, but if you are a teacher who has multiple classes, all of them will show up here. Now to get to PowerTeacher Pro, you can either click PowerTeacher Pro underneath the course name or PowerTeacher Pro on the left-hand menu here. So I'm just going to click PowerTeacher Pro, and that gets us where we need to go for the class that we selected. But before we get into that, we're just kind of going to go through a little bit what all of this means here, and kind of going through like kind of like a navigation here. So this is the course for ELA in 11th grade. This is for UPrep Science and Math High School. And a couple of the icons that show up is there is an attendance status. And this is checked when attendance is taken for the day. So for example, this is checked off right now because the teacher for this course had already taken attendance today. I believe it was an earlier course today. And you can take attendance using the take attendance and multi-day attendance icons here, which we'll get into. You'll have your seating chart, your lunch count, and your student information is how we're going to get to the log entries later on as well. So that's just kind of a brief little overview of the icons we see here. So that would be this slide here, kind of going through what's all here. You can add different icons depending on what pages you want customized. So on this example from PowerSchool here, there's a couple different ones, but the main ones that we have are the attendance, seating chart, lunch counts, and the student information. And so I'm just gonna scroll here. This kind of goes more into detail here, and we can go straight into the Power Teacher Pro portal and kind of go over what a lot of the additional icons are around this page that we have here when we sign in. So up top here on the top right, where the initials are, that's just where you're going to sign in and out of. And one kind of neat feature is if you want to make things just bigger or smaller, depending on how well you can see the screen and how it's set up, you can go large, medium, and small right there. For your sake, we'll keep it at medium here. And then there's a couple other things that are pretty helpful here, such as a help button. That's kind of what they're for. And if you click help here, this is a pretty useful page if you do need to help troubleshoot anything, any issues that the teachers are having with. You can put in the search bar what you want to. Let's just say attendance. It'll give you some articles that pull up there. And also you can just go through these little drop-down menus here. And this will kind of give you a quick instructions on how to use some of these functions within PowerTeacher Pro. So that'll kind of be a go-to if you are looking for something specific to find out. There's a little bell icon next to it right here. This will be the report queue. And there's no reports right here. I know there's an option at the district level, whether you can allow teachers to run reports or not. I'm not entirely sure if that's set up at UPrep or not, but this is where the report would be if you were to run them. And I'll kind of go through later in the session how to run those reports. But this is where they would show up if you want to access them at a later date. Say you ran one last week, you want to access that same report this week, they would show up here where the bell icon is. And then the other, do you have a question, Tom?
I do. What kind of information will be in these reports?
So if I were to go to reports here, these are the reports that are available. I'm just going to go to score sheet. So you can choose your class here, how it will show up, and it'll pretty much just be what's shown in PowerTeacher Pro. So if you're more used to using the reports that are on the admin side in PowerTeacher in PowerSchool, those will be a little bit different structured. This will kind of be like printouts of what's already in PowerTeacher Pro. So the score sheet here, if you were to run it, it would pretty much print out what's on this page itself. Does that help answer your question?
It does, thank you.
Okay. And then the last icon here is the plus sign. And this will kind of be how you create anything from an assignment, category, and then there's also emails or observations. And that's how you'll create the assignments that are all shown in the score sheet. And as I said, this is just kind of the brief overview to start, but that will be kind of the most helpful thing as far as creating new things in PowerSchool or in PowerTeacher Pro. So up top here is also a drop-down menu. And if you click up here where it says B parenthesis B, which would be the expression, and for Monday, early release Monday for ELA 12 or ELA 11. This will show you all of your classes, so you can flip through one class to another. So as I said, if you're a teacher who has 6 classes, all of your classes will show up here, and you can just click on the one you want to display at the current moment. And then with a lot of other software, if you click the PowerTeacher Pro button, that'll just get you back to the home page. In this case, it actually takes you back to the home page for the teacher portal where we started out. So that was kind of just a quick overview. Is there any questions on that? I'll expand on kind of what all those icons do here, but are we good right now?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So the second kind of category I want to go over is taking attendance. So if you are familiar with taking attendance from the admin side, you can either go to let me just pull up the screen here from the admin side. You can go to the teacher schedules, find the teacher you want to take attendance for, and then you can take attendance and multi-day attendance right here. It's really not different from the PowerTeacher Pro side. You'll just be taking that on their homepage. So it's either this take attendance button or the multi-day attendance here. As I said, when attendance is taken, this check bar pulls up. And when I click take attendance, that is how you take attendance for the current day that is going on. So attendance for Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. And you can go in here and see that attendance was already taken. If you're doing this on mass, there's a couple helpful tips you can do. There's an attendance code section here. And what you want to do is if you want to mark, let's say, a whole bunch of students present, you can click on present here. And then all you have to do is just click on the specific boxes and it'll change them automatically to present. Now, I'm not submitting these, so we're not messing up the teacher's attendance for today. But that's how you can do kind of those codes on mass. And then right here, you can change that date if you wish to a previous date. As I said, it just defaults to the current date that you're taking attendance. So changes will not be saved. That's good. Go back to the home page here. So that's for the daily attendance. And then you can also take multi-day attendance by clicking the icon there. And kind of similarly, it gives you a date range instead of a specific date. So right now it's set up from 12/5 to 12/23. If you want to make it earlier, you can kind of go here, go to November, October, what have you. And there's that attendance code as well if you need to mark things in mass as well by putting attendance codes here. So in this view, you can just click on a specific student, their code, and change it depending on if you want to click into it here or depending what is checked in the attendance code box up here. So you can go say that's present, this student is present, and then you just click submit at the bottom here, and that's how attendance is taken on a weekly or a monthly basis. So it's not too much different from the admin side. But it just how you get to there is from the home page from PowerTeacher Pro and clicking take attendance and multi-day attendance. Any questions with that?
No.
Okay. So that's kind of more of one of the straightforward functions with PowerTeacher Pro. But next we're going to go to submitting log entries. And so this is how you would track behavior throughout the year for students. So what you can do is same with taking attendance. You are going to go to that home page for PowerTeacher Pro here, or for the teacher portal in PowerSchool. And you're going to click on the icon for student information, which is right here. So if you click this little badge there, this will give you a list of students in that one class that we had selected. So say if I want to choose this first student listed here, it'll show up their student schedule. And there is a drop-down menu on the right-hand side here. And there's a couple different options that you're given. But what you can do is click Submit Log Entry. And this is where all that information will be filled out from the teacher side. So you have your incident date here, your log type. So say it's a discipline. You can put individual subtypes in there that are listed for UPrep. And then you can just title. I think I have a saved one in here. Student disruptive behavior. Student was talking in class. And then you can just fill out these drop downs and then you can click submit down here. And so what that does is that'll submit that log entry. If you have it set up where it goes to a specific individual with the university, that'll also send the email out to them. But then you can go back as once this is submitted, as I said, I don't want to kind of mess up any of the student information. You can click on log entries here, and this will show all of the log entries for that specific student once you have that entered. So that's how you can see the student log entries for a specific student. But then if you use that menu to click submit log entries, you can go through and fill those out. Any questions with that?
No.
All right. So that is attendance, and that is log entries for tracking discipline. So those are the ones that don't have that many slides. So those are a little bit of the more simpler functions. And then we'll kind of get into grading and assignments, which is typically where there's more questions as far as setting these up. So we're going to go to viewing the assignment list. So to get here, this is just kind of a sample page, but I'll go back to PowerTeacher Pro. So we're going to click on PowerTeacher Pro, find the class that we want to find, and then on the left, there's this grading tab here, and we can go to assignment list. And this will list all the assignments that have been created for this specific class. Now, what a lot of these buttons do is they can get you to kind of like the same things just in different ways depending on how you're inputting things. So score sheets can also lead you to assignments. Assignments can lead you to score sheet. And it'll ultimately get you to where you want to go depending on just kind of that pathway in which you enter things. So I'm just going to click on fences for essay. Doesn't look like there's anything inputted there because that due date is 12/23. So I'll actually just use a previous one. So we have an assignment for tragic, hero, or villain. And this will show us all the scores for the students in this class based on this specific assignment. And then you can just use this drop-down menu here to go from assignment to assignment that we have here. As I said, we started with one that had a future due date to it, but we can go back to one in the past. And what we can do is if we want to change an assignment score right here for an individual student, we can just click on that score there and we can put it in this box that shows up on the right. So they had a 25, so you can type in 25 there and click Save Scores that are at the bottom for the ones that you changed, and then that'll make that change to their score. So this I'll change right back, but I'll just put in 30 here. We saw it was originally 25. This is for Aiken Smith for the Fences Act 1 quote log. And now you see that that change was made in the assignments here. So I'm just going to change that back to 25, how it was. And there we go. So that's how you put in individual scores when you want to find that specific assignment. So as I said, you can change these grades from a couple different views, but if you're going from one assignment for one student, this will be your best kind of pathway to get there. So that's from the assignment list. Does that all make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I know I'm running through this a little bit fast, but I hope that it's not too confusing. So the score sheet here, as I said, another way to find scores, but in a different way. So if you go to that grading tab that's on the left here, and if you click score sheet, which is below assignment list that we were just at, this will show you all of the assignment grades for the entire quarter, student by student here. So we'll have their overall grade that's in this column for grade here, and then you can see that that fences assignment that we were at, I think it was the one on 12/7, is right here for them. So what we can do is, once again, if you want to change a student's grade or input their grade from the score sheet view, you can just click on the individual box to change it. So for Banks Cameron, for fences, if we click on where they scored a 32, it pulls up this menu that's on the right side here. And we can change it if we wish to. So we'll just leave it as 32 as is. And pretty simple. So I'm just going to exit out of here because I don't want to save that change for that student. But we'll get back to this screen here. And there's a couple things that provide some good information here. So on the top right, it shows Q2. So that means that we're in quarter 2. You can change that to quarter 1 if you wish to. So we can see all the assignments from quarter 1 and their overall grades here. And then you can go to any future quarter there as well. That's all set up for this specific school year. So I'll just go back to quarter 2 here, which we're currently in. And that's how you can swap through that. There is this little icon here that I click show metrics. So when you click hide metrics or show metrics in this icon, oh, it's not what I wanted. This will kind of provide some additional details if you want to have your staff kind of see kind of overall just descriptive data. So you have your mean, median, and mode for the grade for the class for this specific quarter, and also assignments. So on the teacher side, if you want to see like an assignment that maybe you have a suspicion that they did really poorly on or really well on, this can kind of provide that data for the teacher as far as what that average score is, what the most frequent score is, and so on and so forth. So you get that data by clicking Show Metrics or Hide Metrics up top here. The summary doesn't really provide too much additional data. When you click on a specific student, what it'll do is it'll just put up here a bar, which will be their grade that they have in the class. So that's not really too much that adds to it since that final grade was already there in the score sheet. So I'm just going to go back here. So when you click that show summary, just show their grade really here when that was the grade that is presented here. But some other really important things though is when you are changing grades en masse, sometimes the system for PowerSchool needs to reboot itself. So this is common with attendance. There's a function that says refresh Premier attendance views from the admin side. Recalculate final grades will be a very similar function here. So what you can do is if you click that gear icon up at the top here, click recalculate final grades. This is for the high school, so it'll be traditional final grades. If you use standards for the elementary school, you can click standard final grades. And you can also click refresh assignment scores. This is kind of most common when you change a grade scale, which hopefully we're not doing. Sometimes that happens and other districts that we speak with. But if you have kind of that set grade scale at the district, you won't really need that. But you can just do recalculate here, and that'll just kind of make sure that everything is all up to date in your classes if something's not showing right. So that's one option when if you say if a teacher comes to you say I made these changes, something maybe isn't reflecting on a report that's being shown as the correct grade, recalculating those final grades will definitely be an important option for you there as kind of one of those first steps towards troubleshooting. Also on this page, up at the top here, there is a Show More button underneath Q2. And this will show you the grade scale that the section for the course is using. So this is the UPS Universal Grade Scale that's here. And this is where the percent cutoff is shown on how that grade scale is used. So I guess from the teacher perspective, if you have maybe a student that says, hey, I have an 83 in the class, is that considered a B or a B minus? This will kind of show you why that's listed as such. An 83 would be a B according to this grade scale that's set up. So that is putting individual grades into the grade book from the score sheet and from the assignment. But to expand on that point further, that's just the grade itself that we looked into. Things we can add to them, and I'll click on one of these that has a couple different things listed. So I'm looking at Jamari Davis right here for this specific assignment, tragic hero or villain. And when I click on that box, that that box on the to the right here will pop up where you can enter the grade, which we did earlier. But also we have other options down below where you can add specific icons to kind of indicate what the status of that assignment might be. So for this specific assignment, the teacher put that the assignment was missing, that they are exempt from this assignment, and that they were absent when this assignment occurred. And you can also put incomplete, collected, late. This is more typically for the teacher to reference, and that's how they're going to be able to go back to that assignment later on and see what exactly they put in there to kind of figure out why that assignment might be graded differently than the rest of the class there. So say for a student, I'm going to click Aiken Smith here. I could say this this assignment was missing, or I could say this assignment came in late. And maybe they get half points. They got full points for it, but they get half points for it being late. You could do 12.5 because this is out of 25. Mark it late, and that's how you can see that for the future. You can also put in comments down here as well. So if was late and you want to see maybe that it was delivered 3 days late, you have the date 12/16 up here. Maybe you say collected on 12/19. And so you can put that there, and then that'll save that comment into there. So we have a full kind of picture of what this assignment will be. We see that it's 12.5 points, that it was late, and it was collected 3 days before, or 3 days after that due date. And then when we change that, we can just click Save at the bottom. We're not going to click Save here to not mess up with the teacher gradebook. But that's kind of putting in these individual assignments here. What is cool is if you put this grade in there as well, Say it's 12.5, you can click preview grades down here instead of save. So if I click that, it actually changes that grade that's shown, that final grade that's shown in this column here to the left. So say if this assignment was full points, 25, and we have, they have a 60% in the class right here, but if they scored a 25 on this assignment, click preview grades, and we now see that their grade is a 64% if that's what they scored. So that's kind of one way to see how that assignment might affect their overall grade. I know sometimes you may have a student that'll ask like, hey, what do I need to get a certain grade in this class? That's one really helpful way to kind of calculate that from the teacher's perspective. And then, as I said, just as we saw the icons for this specific one marked here, if you go back to an assignment for a different student here, you can see that little blue box in the right-hand corner will mean that there's a comment there. And you can see that this was the comment written for that specific assignment. So that is how you can kind of enter in these grades and put those markings in there to provide that better story for them. One thing that may not be as useful, I guess it depends, is if you have multiple students who have the same grade on an assignment, and I think that would typically be more happening when you have like an assignment that's just like a pass fail or something like that, or they did it or they didn't. You can type in a score right here. So say you have 15 as the score, and with these icons that are at the bottom right here, you can click fill down and up or fill left and right. And by clicking on that, it just fills that whole category there. So they scored 15, and now the rest of the students scored 15. So I'm going to undo that, make sure that I have this box marked out, all good. And that's one way, kind of like with that attendance, to fill in the same code for multiple students. That's one way to fill in the same grade for multiple students as well, to make that a little bit more time efficient from the teacher side. So that is the score sheet, putting in scores and those comments and those other indicators there, and then the assignment sheet themselves if you want to go into here and click on the specific assignments and change those scores. I know that was a lot. Any questions with that?
Yeah, actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Going back to the weight of the late assignment, there's no formula built in where you can like say a teacher had a policy of saying, you know, if the assignment's late like a day, that's 10% off. Where there's no like automatic like feature like that, correct? It's all manual. Where the teacher,
Correct. Yeah. So that's something that they'll just have to put in, unfortunately. So when they're inputting that grade in there, so say um, every day late it's 20% off, and this assignment's out of 25 points, so it was one day late, so that would be 80%. They would just have to put in 20. Yep.
okay, just thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so with that, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here, and I was jumping through a couple different slides. So just to make sure we covered all the bases there, we're going to go to the next slide, exploring the gradebook. We went through the score sheet there. Viewing the class grade scales, that was where you can click show more and it shows you the percent cutoffs and the grade scale here. There's also, if you go in there, um, if you go to settings down here, you can click class grade scales, and this will show you the grade scale as well that is set up for that class. So it's kind of the exact same information, just kind of another way to find it, which I said is the same with inputting information for assignments and grades as well. And one thing that you'll see kind of show up, especially for you prep, it looks like, is this little school icon up here in the top right. That just shows that this is something that is set at the district level. So the grade scale cannot be edited from the teacher side. To be honest, that's a good thing. But there are some schools where they have different grade scales depending on different courses, and that definitely adds to a lot more confusion in some circumstances. So having that grade scale set at the district side will make sure that all the grade scales for this specific school will be using the UPS Universal Grade Scale. And then if it's an elementary or middle school, if they have a different one, they'll be using that one. So that is viewing the class grade scale. And now I think we can move into assignments and setting them up. So I guess kind of from any page here. I mean, it's easier if you have the assignment list so you can see what your next assignment will be. Just by clicking this plus icon here in the top right. You have your 4 options here. We will start with assignment. So with this, you can click the class you want. Said this account is only assigned to this one class, so it's automatically checked. You can put in your assignment name, um, test assignment, the category for it. And I did check, it looked like the categories are also set by the district. So you can choose whether this is for classwork, end of unit module, mid unit module, or other. So we'll say that this would just be classwork. You can set the due date. So this is due on December 29th. And then you can change how exactly this will be set up. So score type, you can have it either in percents, points, letter, and collected only. According to how this is set up for this specific teacher, it looks like points is generally used, and that's also what we recommend because the percent in the letter will be calculated based off that amount of points. So from here, you can just change if you want to add something like extra points to it, or to put a specific weight in there if this is uh, worth more than a potential other assignment. And then if you want a brief description on it, that's not necessary, but you can put in if you just for a teacher to reference if you want to kind of more describe what exactly that assignment is for the class. You can put that in there, but that's not something that the students will see. That's something only the teacher would see. And then you can just click save and close, and it'll automatically put that assignment on this assignment list behind there. And as I said, I don't want to mess with this teacher too much, so we will just kind of show this menu here, but save and close is what would put this as the 11th assignment on their assignment list. And then there's a couple options. I mean, if there's assignment to apply to only certain students, but not other students, I think that might be in rare circumstances, but it might apply. You can just uncheck that student, and then that assignment won't be assigned to that specific student. And then when you're done, you just click that save and close down there, and that'll create the assignment for you. And so that's with standards and publish there. And then I'm going to discard those changes just so we don't create that assignment for them. So that is how you would create a new assignment there. One thing I did want to check is when you go to categories, these are the categories for those assignments. As I said, there's the end of unit module, the mid unit module, classwork or other, whether it's summative or formative, but it does look like all of these are created at the district level. So you wouldn't have your teachers changing those while they're creating new assignments. But if you were to, you can just click this plus, click category here, and then that will create your new category depending on what you want it to be. So there's homework, maybe there's end of unit, mid unit, maybe you'll just put like a start of unit module. And that'll be a new category if you want to create that. But because it doesn't look like those are set at the teacher level, that's probably good that we have these set up at the district level there. Any questions there with creating assignments or creating categories?
No, I guess I just have one question about Schoology though. And if you could, I don't know if you're how familiar with the syncing process. Can you create these assignments in Schoology, and then with all this information that we're putting in here sync over, or would you have to put it in both programs?
So I am not as familiar with Schoology, unfortunately. As far
I'm
as
sorry.
I know,
I'm sorry,
yep.
Garrett. They have Schoology training coming. So Tom, let's keep that for Schoology, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Garrett.
Yeah, no problem. Just I did want to mention, I'm pretty sure that that when you create those assignments and you do that, Schoology, that information transfers over to PowerTeacher Pro. So I think they're created in there, and then everything would be transferred once you have that syncing process. But with that being said, we are not experts in Schoology, so I don't really want to feed you too much wrong information when it comes to that, but I do believe that that is the process.
Sure. Yeah. No. Fair enough. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we are going to go next to duplicating assignments here. So you have an assignment. Maybe you have an assignment for one class that you want to use for another class. That's pretty much the most common use of duplicating assignments is. What you can do is you can click on the specific assignment. So we're going to go to assignment list. And then so maybe classroom agreement. Maybe we can go with that. So say if there's like some kind of form that everyone turns in and they get a grade on it, that might be something that a teacher might use in multiple classes. You can click this edit icon here to the right. And then you can choose your specific class that you would do. And then same, you'll have the due dates. Everything will be set up as it is right here. And there's a duplicate button at the bottom here. So if you had, this is the class we have selected, but you wanted to add that to a different class, you could put that other class in there and then click this duplicate button at the bottom, and that'll create the same information for this one assignment for your other class. So as I said, if there's an assignment like everyone has to turn in a form or something like that, that kind of saves the teacher time as far as putting in that same assignment for 6 different classes with the same due date and the same information. So that is for duplicating assignments there. And then I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint that we have here. I did go over creating categories. As I said, everything is set up at the district level. So so there isn't really going to be any changes when it comes to that. If there are additional categories that you do want added, that's something I would recommend just reaching out and contacting us about. And that we can set those up at the admin side. So if there is an additional category that you want here, this is for UPSM high school, but maybe for this school or another school, I would just recommend reaching out and we can add those categories for you. And then that way, when a teacher creates an assignment, so if they click this plus sign, click assignment, it'll just show up from this drop-down menu as another option they can add. And likewise, you can order this in any specific order that you want. And then if you want to go in and change, this is also set as a district, but you can make these active or inactive depending on if you still want to use these categories or not. Just so they're still there, but you don't have to use them if you don't wish to. Okay, so going back through the PowerPoint presentation here, we have one for score type. And that's kind of when it created a new assignment that you can change from points to percent to that alpha kind of grade, and adding extra points or adding extra weight in there to make that specific assignment more unique if it has unique properties to it that differs it from any other assignment. And as mentioned before, there's different ways to kind of enter those scores in, whether from the assignment list or from the score sheet. And these are just kind of a couple other options that are there. So we did see the score inspector, just kind of reiterating what's kind of went already over. When you click on a specific assignment grade for a specific student, this will come up, and that's where you can put these indicators in there, put those comments in there, and change that grade to what you want. And we also want to, if you want to preview those grades as well, to change that overall final grade. Filling in scores. I did go over this as well. If you click like the top student and they all have the same grade, you can click that vertical button there. I'm not really sure exactly a circumstance where you would want to fill the same grade for every assignment for a student. But that is also an option down there if you wish to do that as well. So, as I said, kind of jumping around, this is all kind of just information based on what's already been presented. You can just go into assignment list or the score sheet to either score multiple assignments or a single assignment. So grading, assignment list, you can go and grade your specific assignment by going here, or you go to the score sheet and you can grade multiple assignments from here, seeing from that viewpoint. Previewing grades, we did see that too. When you put in a grade for a specific assignment, you click preview grades down there, it'll change that overall grade. And then one other thing that you can do is copying and pasting scores. And to go there, I'm going to go back to the score sheet here. And what this will do is you can just click this little arrow on the specific assignment up top here. Click copy. And then let's go to this assignment and click paste. Okay, so we are getting a error message that's going on here. And what that actually means is these have different amounts of points that are available. So this would not match one-to-one with this as far as what the grades would be going. But if they did, you could just click that, click copy, click paste, and it'll put all of those grades for all these students, the same ones for this assignment to this assignment. Also, I do think that kind of begs the question whether you want to do that or not. I guess that's a helpful option, but thinking of different circumstances where that might apply, it doesn't really seem wholly useful unless for like very specific circumstances where you're copying all of the grades from one assignment and putting them into another assignment. And so just so we don't mess this up, I'm just going to click discard changes there. And then one other kind of category here is entering comments. So when you enter comments here, you'll be using the comment bank, which we saw for this specific assignments. However, if you want those to poll on the report cards themselves, there's a little bit different kind of avenue to do that. So I'm going to go to the score sheet because that gives us the final grades and it gives us the assignment grades for all the assignments. So if you want to put a comment for an individual assignment, you can click on the assignment and just type that in right here. And that will be from the teacher perspective. That kind of is their reference. However, if you want a comment to show up on the report card itself, they have to put in the comments in this grade column here. So what you want to do is if you have Michaela Avant, the second student listed here, you can click on their grade. And then in this comment box is where you would put the comment you want to show up on the report card. And since we're in quarter 2, this is for this specific student, you would put here just test comment. I just wrote in there, click save, and that will save that comment right there. You can go back and reference it if you wish to, but that is step 1 for it to show up on a report card. Step 2 is when grades are stored, that's when it'll actually show up on the report card itself. So you can type it in here, but until grades are stored, it wouldn't show up if you were to print that report for a student. So you put in the comment there. Once grades are stored, that'll show up on their Q2 report card. And I did just print out a sample student report card here. So this is for the course ELA 11 for this student. So once that comment is put in there in that column for grade in PowerTeacher Pro, that is where it'll show up where it says teacher comments for this specific quarter report card. Any questions with entering in those comments for them to show up on the report card for here or just to show up on an assignment for here? Any questions with that?
No.
Okay. Hmm. And then just here is just kind of a quick reminder with that. After grades are stored, then those comments will appear in the comments section on the report cards for those specific quarters. So if the way the report cards are set up in PowerSchool, say if you're in quarter 1 here, we don't want to save that and discard these changes here. Say if we put a comment right in here for this student for quarter 2, once you get to quarter 3, that comment won't be there on the report cards. It'll only be there if you run the quarter 2 report card in PowerSchool. So that kind of differentiates those comments, so you don't have all the comments collected throughout the year on one report card. It'll be specific to that quarter that you're running that report card for. And then kind of lastly, there's a couple slides here for class customization. As mentioned a couple times before, a lot of the things are set at the district level, and it's better that way, not to kind of go through and change grade scales for specific assignments or change categories for different assignments either. So this kind of goes through how to do that. So I won't go through all of these slides, but I did show you if you go to the top right here, you can go to small, large. So that's kind of just a preference as far as the viewing options go. And then if you go to settings down here, going through here, as I said, if you want to change how the student names are displayed, that'll only change for that specific student or how you want those students to be sorted. So I guess one example I can think of is maybe you want to, if it's a class that contains 11th graders and 12th graders, you can separate them by grade level and then by last name. Or you could just do it by last name or first name. As I said, these are kind of just more teacher preferences here when it comes to how everything is displayed in those assignment list and score sheet. But you can also go to class descriptions here, and you can change, maybe for your reference, you might have a lot of ELA 11 classes. Say maybe you have 4. So one option you can do is this doesn't change how the course is actually listed in PowerSchool. And even though the expressions are up here, sometimes those aren't always like intuitive that, B would be a specific period. You could make a change like say first hour ELA 11 so it shows up a little bit more clearly for the teacher as far as scrolling and navigating through all of their different courses that they have. So with that, we're not going to be customizing the grade scales here. We're not changing grading preferences as well. We're not changing those either. And this is all kind of related to changing those grade scales and those calculations. So that really kind of wouldn't necessarily apply to what we have. So class grade scales, that's how we saw this grade scale here with those cutoff dates. And then traditional grade calculations are also set up automatically by the district. So that will be how everything's set up. So this, just for an example, shows semester 1 just is set up as 50% of quarter 1 and 50% of quarter 2. For the year, it's 50% of semester 1, 50% of semester 2. So that's not anything that would change at the teacher level, since that's all at the district level. So with that being said, there's a couple more things that I just want to go through. So we went through assignment list, score sheet, and categories up here. Down here, really, I mean, unless it's standards based for the elementary schools, really traditional grades is where you're going to want to go. And this will give you just more of that overview for the student in general. So this is kind of really the only view in PowerTeacher Pro that'll give you something similar to like the quick lookup function on the admin side. So you'll have their final grade for quarter 2 here, their absences and tardies, and then how many assignments are missing, how many assignments are late or incomplete here. So that can kind of give you a general overview of a student to know maybe they have a lot of missing assignments here, and we can reach out and figure out why that might be the case. And then I kind of have not really gone over the student view here as well. The grading view is creating those assignments and the score sheets, and I think that's kind of at the crux of where a lot of those questions might come from, or confusions. But if you go from the student view, it'll give you the same thing. So if you go to assignments here, this will just show you the scores for all the assignments for a specific student. And you can go to assignment list. These are all the assignments, but if you go from the student view to assignments, that'll give you all the scores for all their assignments, which is kind of the same what you see on that score sheet, but just more individualized in case you're talking to a specific student going over. Whereas if you were looking at this view from the score sheet, this might look a little bit harder to read at a glance. You can just go over here and to the student view and see that there. And likewise, you pop up here, see what the comment is there, and go from there. Uh, So if you go to comment log here, that's another option that you have as well. This will just show you all of the comments that show up for all the assignments for a specific student. And then you can just scroll through student by student to see there's no comments for this student. This student has 4 comments, and so on and so forth. Mm, if you click progress on here on the left-hand side, this tab will kind of just give you a distribution of what you have for grades for the quarter, for the semester. So this will just kind of give you an overall view of what the class is doing, and you can filter these out by those grades, and that'll kind of show you the overall. Whereas where you go to score sheet and click show more here, go to, that would be score sheet. Now it would be show metrics. My apologies. So show metrics here, and that'll show you kind of more of that descriptive data just from the individual assignment perspective, whereas progress will give you the overall class view. And then too, with reports, there's multiple reports that can be run here if allowed. And these will pretty much just be the same pages that you'll see if you went to the score sheet or assignment list. So if you click reports here, click final grade report, That'll just show you all the grades for all the students there. And there's a couple different options, and that's something that I didn't have any of those printed out, but that's something, if you wish to, you can just kind of run those reports and kind of see what information might be best depending on the specific information you're looking for. And then with the settings tab here, kind of went through the display settings, the descriptions if you want to change that, comment bank if you have personal comments. That's not really used, but it is an option that's there. And then another way to find grade scales. So this is kind of going over a lot of the information that has kind of already been gone over already, but just different ways, as I said, to find all these things that you want to find. And then, as I said, when you want to go back to that home page, you can click on PowerTeacher Pro here. That will get you to your class list here. And then there's a couple different navigation options here as well, depending on if that information is used by the district or not. But PowerTeacher Pro and the start page for taking attendance, for putting in log entries for student information will be your go-to for getting all of that done. So that's just kind of a summary of those key points that are listed here. And that is the end of the presentation. With that, I'll open up the floor if you have any other specific questions, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Thank you, Garrett. I'm good on my end for questions.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was very, it was a really nice overview and summary. Thank you.
Devin, Linda, do you have any questions?
Nope, I'm good, Gary. This was just a refresher of refreshers for me. But thank you. Yep, you're very thorough. And appreciate you and your time today.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so as I said, that's all how it looks from the teacher perspective, and I hope that if you come across questions, if your staff asks you questions, that hopefully that'll give you kind of in the right direction where you want for assignments, for attendance, for grading, and so on and so forth.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, and with your permission, do you mind if I stop the recording now?
Yep, that'd be great.